it's Lara here again, and welcome to my visionary world. Welcome. So, today, what do you want? Weird question, right? What do you want? Really, really weird. But guess what? So many people don't know what they want. Did you know that? So many people don't know what they want. So let's take that question again. What do you want? So let me make you ask yourself that question. What do I want? Weird, simple, but most people don't have the answer. Seriously. I didn't have the answer for a long time, and I cannot tell you truthfully that I have 100% of that answer. I can't. But I'm a student of that answer. So I'm constantly looking for that answer. It bothers me. Anytime I can't answer that question the way I want, the way I'm happy to, and to have the answer that sounds right, feels right, I'm not happy. So I'm a student of that question. And guess what? You should be too. You should constantly ask yourself, what do I want? Because again, guess what? This question changes every time. It comes in different ways, and the answer is definitely different with each new season. So, let me go back to what I was talking about in my last video. But before I get into that, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you are missing out. You should subscribe immediately. And if you haven't enrolled or signed up your kids for the Visionary Entrepreneurial Online Academy, they are missing a lot. Trust me, you need to sign them up today. Okay? So, let me get into what I was talking about the last time. I was talking about finding your comparative advantage. Did you know that your comparative advantage is your gold? Seriously, your comparative advantage is your goal. That thing you do best, that thing that you have magic on, that thing that you are the best at, you do easily, happily, magically, that is your gold. But guess what? What if you don't know? And this was why I talked about Nigeria the other time. I said, what have we done with our comparative advantage? Let me tell you two things. First, okay, we know some of our comparative advantage and we haven't done much with it. Second, we don't know some of our comparative advantage and you can't do nothing with what you don't have. Okay? So, my question to you again, what do you want? Your question to you, what do I want? Good question. Good, very important answer. You need that answer. Why? Because if someone tells you something is gold, if someone tells me something is gold, I'm looking for it. Why would they tell me something is gold? And I know that the gold is within reach. I can find it and I'll sit down. No way, I'm finding my gold. Okay? So, what am I here to talk to you about? How to find your comparative advantage. So I talked, like I said, my last video, I talked a lot about what your comparative advantage was all about. I talked about the Nigerian comparative advantage, why the comparative advantage is so advantageous, and all of that. And I tell you, anybody that knows about that something is gold, for most they would look for it. Okay? So, but there's a way to find it. So, how do you find your comparative advantage? Good. That's what I want to talk about. First, put yourself first. That's the first way you find your comparative advantage. You put yourself first. I'm going to say that again. You put yourself first. And I know that sounds selfish, but even the Bible says that you should love others the way you love yourself, not the other way round. Okay? So there's something important about loving yourself first. There's something important about putting yourself first. When you put yourself first, When you love yourself first, when you understand yourself first, then you can do same for others. You can do a whole lot for yourself. You can do a whole lot for your family, friends, and that's what I'm doing today. I have taken a lot of time out to find my comparative advantage. Okay, it's been my lifelong work. I've always tried to find my comparative advantage, and like I said, your comparative advantage has a way of changing with the season. Okay, so we all have different seasons in our life, and that's why you have to be a student of self discovery. This is what this talk is all about. Self discovery. How do you discover yourself? Put yourself first. So when as a country we took advantage of some of our comparative advantage, let's look at how we did it. First, cultivated. We cultivated it. So the people that grew the groundnut pyramids in the north, they had to cultivate that. The cocoa farmers had to cultivate that. The other people that were farming and doing stuff like that had to cultivate it. Okay? And a lot of work goes into that. That means you get seed. Okay? You put it in good ground. Okay? You nurture it by watering it, making sure it has sunlight, and making sure that pests don't go there. That is you're managing that situation. Okay? And then when you do that long enough, it gives you desired results. That is what it means. Okay? How do you do that with the things you know how to do well? The word I used, I said seed. And this is why for me, people that don't do nothing, okay, and you just wait for magic, you're waiting for something to happen, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to find your comparative advantage, because you find your comparative advantage on a journey when you are moving. No matter the kind of movement, just be moving and you will get the idea, because all you need is a tiny, teeny weeny bit idea, just that small seed of an idea that this is what I think I really do well. This is what people commend me for. This is what I do easily at home. That is your seed, that idea. That's all you need. And then you begin to run with that. What is the next thing that you do? You discover what you have cultivated the minute it begins to pop up. Okay, so like I said, you've cultivated, you have to dig, you have to plant, you have to do all of that, and then you have to discover what is coming out. After the discovery comes the shine. Okay, and I know this sounds really fast and simplistic, but a whole lot goes into this. But this is what you have to do, and this is why you have to put yourself first. What makes you happy? Just simple, basic things. It's not rocket science, really. Yes, and you know, if the answer doesn't come as fast as you want, keep checking. Don't let that bother you. Keep checking, keep trying, keep investigating. But simple things. What makes you happy? What are the things you do easily? What are the things you enjoy doing? What are the things you would do if nobody paid you? These are some of the things that are going to be your comparative advantage. The answer is within there somewhere. It's there, and I know it. Okay? And you know, for a lot of people, you already know your comparative advantage. But you're wondering how to turn that into financial advantage. Okay? Very, very easy. Other people that have that same gifting, how have they turned their own comparative advantage into financial advantage? Investigate. Find out. And this is why reading is so important. This is why exposure is so important. Even when you can't travel everywhere, okay? We live in an amazing time, amazing season. With your iPad, with your phone, You can be in any country just like that with a click. You are everywhere and anywhere. You can get any information, and that is all you need. Okay, that is all you need. Put yourself first. It's interesting. Even when you're in a plane, okay, and you know that thing they do when you're about to take off, and they're like, if in the uneventful, in the event, how do they say that thing? That thing that they say, if there is going to be a crash, blah blah, or the oxygen whatever drops. Put your mask first. Help yourself first before you help someone else. It's amazing to me how people turn that upside down. You can't help others until you help yourself. Okay? So I have been able to discover a few tips that have helped me to discover myself. And that's why I can help you today. Okay? So put your own mask on first, guys. Okay? So if you're a young person and you've never walked this road, this is what I'm here for. That's fine. And that's why I'm telling you that put yourself first. Love yourself. Cultivate. Dig. Discover. Shine. Okay? Right where you are today. What are the things you love to do? What are the things your siblings have said you do so well? What, mom and dad, what are those things they give you, they call you easily to do because they know you do it amazingly well? You need to look out for those things. Seriously. Let me go to 2. Find out what you like. Did you hear that? Find out what you like. Okay? And I think I've already touched a bit on that. Okay? Because, interestingly enough, we don't have so much control over what we like. Do you know that? Do you know that you landed on this side with those things that you like? Do you know that you had no say in those things? Okay? So, just find out. That's your own. Okay? Just find out. What did I land here with? Okay? So, even as a parent, when I look at my kids, okay, I have the ones that are very outgoing. They're friendly, they talk to everybody, they're all over the place. And then I have the one that never wants to go anywhere, doesn't want to talk to anybody. I even have to come up with ways to get him to talk to me and to get him to interact. So, truthfully, they landed like that. No input from mom, dad, or anybody. When the matter was arranged, I wasn't there, okay? That was just the package I got. And that's just how it is with you. You landed like that with your likes and dislikes, okay? For a good reason. And your job is easy. Nobody said, and this is why you can't afford to like what you don't like. Is inbuilt. It came like that. The way your phone came with features, your iPads came with features, your computers, your tabletop, they came with features. You don't have to put in anything. You just have to find out and what the manufacturer's manual says and work with it, run with it. Okay? So what did you come with? What do you like doing? What do you do easily? Find out. Let me move, okay? The next one and the last one is similar to like. Is the other extreme. What do you hate? That is just as important as what you like. Very, very interesting. And guess what? Most people, okay, their life work, I didn't say job. Hello, there's a difference. I didn't say job. Their life work, okay? Their life's work. What they would do that would impact their world, okay? What they would do that would be their legacy, okay, is somewhere between those two, okay? What they like and what they hate. And what do I mean by that? What they hate in terms of the fact that most people, that thing that bothers you, okay, might just be what you are meant to solve. That thing that annoys you, okay, that thing that just drives you over the edge is what you are empowered to solve. Again, what did I say before? You came like that. You had no say. Nobody consulted you to put that in you. So let's leave that on one side. Leave that matter. Your own is to find out why do you should be interested in knowing why you hate what you hate. Okay, you should be interested in knowing why you like what you like. But I tell you, in between that like and that hate is your life's work. That's easy now. Very easy. It's not rocket science. So let me tell you mine. Okay, so for instance, one of the things I like is to teach. Hey, that's not hard, right? So, and how did my teaching life start? Okay, so on the job, I'm in the store, I'm selling clothes. That's what I do for a living. I sell clothes. And then people come and they came to buy clothes. Okay, but somehow in between, especially the women, because women, we like to gist, we like to talk and all of that. Again, we landed here like that. So nobody should wonder why. This is how we found the matter. So we flow with it. So people come to buy clothes, and the next thing they're talking about some situation they're facing, some problem they have on the job, in their business, in their home, and I'm ready to offer solutions, especially solutions that have worked for me. So this is how I realized that I teach, okay? So this is how I, realize that there's a teacher somewhere there in me, because people will actually now listen, because I've already told you, oh, I had that situation, I had that problem, and this was what I did, blah, 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 and then solution comes, and guess what? The next time they have a problem, they didn't come to buy clothes, but they'll just call me, so we'll talk about how to solve this other problem. Okay, so I realized that I had a love for that. Okay, but what exposed that to me? Okay, something I was doing, my seed. Okay, that selling of clothes was my seed. It was my platform that introduced me to this, my life's work. And that's why you can't despise anything. You can't. Okay, now let me tell you some of the things I hate. Okay, I also discovered that I hated it when people when I realized that they didn't have direction, or they were stuck, in their thoughts. That is, they didn't know what to do. I discovered that if I asked a question like, what do you want? When you don't have an answer for me, that bothered me a lot. Okay? That was on one hand. Another thing I now realized I also hated was people being stranded. But let me zero in here very specifically, okay? I hated to see people that I knew had potential, okay, but were stranded in able to move forward with their potential, either because they are doing business in Nigeria and they are having to deal with our banks, okay, and all our other limiting situations. I hated that, okay? And I thought, but I just hated that, and I behaved like a typical Nigerian and complained and abused and insulted those that I thought should have the solution. But I woke up one day in the course of my journey and I realized that, instead of complaining and crazy all over the place, I could be part of the solution. But I now question that. I'm like, well, what can I really do? Okay? And that was a question that needed an answer. And my answer was that I can do something. I can do something small within my own small sphere of influence. I can do something small to affect one or two people. I can do something small by teaching people, helping people get the much desired direction, helping people get the much desired funds. Okay? Because there's something I believe so much in, that if I teach you how to be an amazing business person, that's good. But there are times you need to empower people. You need to teach them, put something in their head and put something in their hand and send them away. Because when I just put something in your head and don't put anything in your hand, I just taught you and frustrated you. Okay? I'm not good enough. So for me, the combination of the two is amazing. You see that? So I've talked about what I liked and I've talked about what I hated, and in between the two, there's a solution I can come up with There's a way I can, help people. There's a way that I can leave a legacy based on the things I do. And it's the same for you. So let me run over what I said, the three things I said. Put yourself first. I had to put myself first. I had to find my seed. I had to cultivate. I had to dig. I had to discover and get to that point where I was shining and people could ask me questions. Because trust me, people ask you questions when you have results, no matter how little the results are. Okay? So that was the first indicator that I was going the right route. Then the next thing was I had to find out what I liked, and I had to find out what I hated, and I had to, find my life's work in between those two things. And this is the same thing you have to do, guys. So if you're a super mom, super woman out there and you're listening to me, this is what you have to do. This is year 2020 and you don't have time again. Okay? And I know that there's COVID and all of that, but this is the time for you to put your plans to paper. This is the time for you to plan. Okay? To me, this is an amazing year. It's a time to sharpen your axe without going anywhere. Okay? To sharpen, to plan, to decide, to answer some of these questions, because guess what? Nobody can answer this question for you. And I get a lot of these questions from people. They'll say, what do you think I should do? I don't know. I don't know, sorry. Only you can answer that question yourself. Anybody that tells you they have the answer, run. Because they're not you. Only the best they can do is to do the kind of thing I'm doing for you now. To show you some things and, all of that. Expose you to some things. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the answer lies within. It's your responsibility, if you care enough about yourself and your world and your comparative advantage, to find out what you like. Okay? To find out who you are. To find out how you can discover your comparative advantage, because it is your goal. Truly it is. Okay? So, I said, find out what you want. What do you want? Ask yourself, what do I want? Okay? Put yourself first. Find out what you like. Find out what you hate. And in between all of that, your answer would emerge. Your answer would emerge. So, like I said before, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you should do that, because I'm going to be throwing you amazing teachings like this every week, because I just told you I like to teach and I can talk for free. Okay? So, subscribe to the channel. If you're a super woman out there, I love the women because we make things happen a lot. We make things happen for our kids. I've just helped you by telling you what you need to tell your kids, because we want our kids to find out who they are, what they want, what they like, and their comparative advantage before they are old like us. Okay? So we need to give them the teaching we didn't get. Okay? We need to give them the advantage we didn't get. Not because our parents didn't love us, but they just didn't know. But we know, and we live in amazing times where at the click of a button, a lot can happen. Okay? So this is a message for you, my people. This is a message for our amazing kids, our energetic teens, and our dynamic young adults that are going somewhere to happen big. And guess what? A lot of them want to blow. Okay? And this is how we can help them blow. Okay? They need to discover who they are. We don't want them to be struggling. I don't want them to be doing a job they hate for 5 years. Why? The way it happened for you. We don't want that to happen. We want them to get it right from the get-go. And this is my work, and hopefully I've delivered my job perfectly well on this subject. And when we see next, my love for teaching continues. So stay tuned, guys, and look out for me, because I'm going to be in your face every week. So take care and see you. Bye.